Hey. Okay, so I'm kinda going into the deep end here, okay? As you saw by the title, we're gonna be reading some really awful garbage Xenoblade 2 reviews. Okay, I actually got the inspiration from, I was scrolling through my recommended on YouTube and I saw a video about, like reading like terrible Persona 5 reviews. I was like, that actually seems kind of fun. Let me do that for Xenoblade 2. So, you know, this is gonna be quite the video, because I was reading one of them. I was reading one of the reviews, to see how bad they were, and this gets this gets very, reviewy. So we're gonna like filter. Also, we're doing like Google reviews. I don't know. This is kind of like the best way to find like bad reviews. But I started reading this one and goddamn, let's just get into it. We're gonna be reading all these like 1-star reviews and see how garbage they are. So already starting off absolutely incredible. Horrendous. MMO quests with no relevant rewards. It's so bad you can kill stuff, talk to, deliver, kill stuff again in a single quest and still get nothing useful at the end. It just never stops with more tedious tasks. Okay, I mean, it is a JRPG, so obviously there's going to be a lot of like menial tasks or like menial quests that don't really lead to anything, but some of the quests actually give you pretty damn good items or like accessories and aux cores. You can get some like really good aux cores and accessories from quests. So to say that they're all just irrelevant, okay, in a single quest and still get nothing useful at the end, it just never stops with more tedious tasks. Well, I mean, it's a JRPG. They can't make every single quest give you some broken item. Like, obviously some of them aren't gonna be, the greatest, but there's still some use to them. Even if they're just like collectibles, collectible items, you can use those collectibles for other quests. Say a certain quest, you need to collect a certain amount of this collectible and you don't have enough and you get some from a different quest, you can use that for that quest. There's so many other different things that quests are useful for. Not just just because you don't get a game-breaking item from a quest doesn't mean it's garbage or bad. But that's just the first 2 lines. The absolute worst writing I have ever seen. I don't think it's possible to write anything worse than this. Imagine the whole cliche anime, make it worse, add awful translation and voice/text timing, and there you go. It's unbelievably bad. Nothing in the story makes sense. The logic behind motivation of characters is so hilariously flawed in every possible way. It's insane. Okay, none of this made any sense. We're gonna break it down piece by piece. I don't think it's possible to write anything worse than this. Imagine the worst cliche anime, make it worse, add awful translation and voice/text timing, and there you go. Okay, again, it's a JRPG. Obviously, it's gonna be inspired by anime. A lot of anime have the same tropes and themes, I guess. Most animes are like, or not most, but a lot of animes are shonen, and it's like the most popular kind. I don't watch anime as much as I used to, so I haven't watched anime in a while, so I may not have, I may not be too credible in what I'm saying, but go to literally any other JRPG and the story is going to be anime-ish. Awful translations. I don't think Xenoblade 2 had awful translations. I understood everything everyone was saying. I don't think that's what they meant, but like, I don't think anything was heavily mistranslated. The voice/text timing, okay, yeah, the lip syncing is off, but that doesn't really kill immersion or anything. It may for some people, but that's such a trivial thing to just complain about. They didn't have the budget of say Final Fantasy VII Remake into this. Like, it's not that big of a deal. It's unbelievably bad. Nothing in this story makes sense. The logic behind motivation of characters is so hilariously flawed in every possible way. It's insane. How is it flawed? For Rex, for example, his motivation throughout the whole story is to take Pyra to Elysium. Why is he doing that? Because she literally saved his life? Or like when he touched the core crystal and Jin killed him, Pyra gave him half of her core crystal and brought him back to life. Like, he's eternally grateful for her for that. She literally brought him back to life. So the least he could do is see out her wishes. And the reason, okay, this is getting into little, spoilers, but if you don't want to be spoiled on Xenoblade 2, leave right here. Okay, but the reason Pyra even wants to go to Elysium is, to die. Her and Mytho just want to die. They don't want to live anymore. After what happened 500 years ago during the Aegis Wars in Torna, Mithra doesn't want to live anymore, and so she wants to go up to Elysium to ask the architect, Klaus, to let them die. I don't see where the motivation is, hilariously flawed in every possible way that it's insane. What are you talking about? The open world makes absolutely no sense. You can fight / beat some guy who is basically a demigod in the lore, and on the next map you get killed by a random bird. Not a unique bird, a random one. Just a random super overleveled enemy that is there for no reason whatsoever. Okay, obviously it's not going to be easy to cross over gameplay and lore. Like, obviously there's going to be a barrier to where the story and the gameplay can't really mix together, and Malos isn't even at his full power here. Obviously, the way JRPGs go, you're gonna kind of have to beat him that early in the game. And then the high level, the super over leveled enemies there for no reason whatsoever. There is a reason that they're there, and that reason is to, what's the word I'm looking for? The reason is to incentivize you to go back to those areas later on when you're higher leveled and fight those enemies and go back to explore areas. It's to, lengthen the gameplay, the longevity of the game, and have players go back to areas after they haven't been there through like half the game and see what's different and when you can do then, now that it's different. Okay, let's just keep going. Hitboxes, if they even exist, and I'm honestly not sure, are atrocious. You can seriously be 5 meters away from an attack and get clipped by wonky AoE that wasn't even remotely aimed at you, like a beam that literally shoots in a different direction from you by 120 degrees. I'm not exaggerating, that's actually how it works in game. Okay. I can understand if it's like that, like a beam or whatever shot in the opposite direction of you and you still get hit. But that's what AoE is, area of effect. You're going to get hit even if it's not directly aimed at you. Okay, I know this, I'm about to say a really fucked up example, but it's the first one that came to mind. Say if a nuke was dropped two miles away from you. Obviously it wasn't aimed at you, but you're still going to get destroyed by the blast. That's how AoE works. You get hit by the area of effect even though it wasn't aimed at you. That's just how it works. Hell, maybe even the enemy had Kaiser Zone. Okay, who knows? Maybe the enemy has Kaiser Zone and it just increases the AoE by so much. Who knows? Maybe they're using Dagas and they got Kaiser Zone. Enemies also frequently attack through walls because you can't interact with doors while in combat, but aggro enemies through walls / doors, it's that bad. I don't think I've ever encountered a time ever where an enemy has aggroed me through a wall or a door. And maybe the collision is just weird there and their aggro detection goes through the wall. I don't know, this doesn't, I've never encountered that where an enemy just aggroed me through the wall. So, and I mean, obviously the attacks are gonna hit you through the wall. I don't think the developers designed, had it in mind that, enemies are going to be behind walls when they attack, so we got to make sure that doesn't happen. I don't think they designed walls when they're developing the combat. Oh, and there's a gacha system with everything you'd expect from a gacha system except for paying money. I don't mind the gacha system, and I think that's like a really cool way to get rare blades. So, and it's not really that hard to stock up on cores either if you know what you're doing. So everyone always complains about the gacha system, which it's how else, I don't really see how else I mean, I guess you can get like rare blades through quests and everything, but I don't mind the gacha system. So, I mean, you don't have to pay real money, so it's not like it's being predatory or anything or greedy. It's literally just an in-game gacha system. I don't know. I'm not gonna talk too much on that because that's a controversial topic for whatever reason, and you know, people are gonna get on my ass for that. So let's not. Would not recommend for anyone. The only way to get any joy out of this is by getting your gacha fix, I guess. It's really, really bad and fails at pretty much everything. Yeah, this review is really, really bad and pretty much fails at, you know, painting the game in any kind of light other than garbage. The game really isn't that bad. Like this, I may be biased here, but Xenoblade 2 is like my favorite game of all time. This game is incredible, especially the story and how it connects back to the first game. Xenoblade 2 is like the first game ever to captivate me with its story. I've always played games for the gameplay and really nothing else. I've always like loved and enjoyed games for the gameplay. The games were fun to play, but Xenoblade 2 is different. And it's like the first game ever to just like hook me with its story, and I was, you know, into the game because of the story rather than the gameplay. So, and then look, and then here we are now. So like, what do you mean? Values, but value his, this was a week ago too. What the hell? This was a week ago? Oh my god. People are still out here writing garbage ass reviews of Xenoblade 2 because this review doesn't hold much value. Oh my, okay, let's just go on to the next one. The voice acting is absolutely horrendous. Of course, the first thing they complain about is voice acting. The voice acting is not that bad. I don't understand why everyone complains about the voice acting. Sure, it's kind of weird here and there, but it's not absolutely atrocious. It's not gonna make you turn the game off. The voice acting is great. I love it. It's really not that bad. Everyone just comes into everything with so many expectations and then get mad when they're not met. I don't understand. It ruins any emotional scene the game may have held. Not true at all. Take Numa's awakening. The way Rex screamed sound like a baby crying for milk. Okay, I'm not even gonna talk about that. The combat system is horrible. In Xenoblade Chronicles 1, you could, oh no, they're a Xenoblade 1 fan. This explains it. This explains it. They're a fan of Xenoblade 1. Now, obviously, joking aside, I love Xenoblade 1, and you know, it's an incredible game. It's a Xenoblade game, so obviously it's incredible. But I like Xenoblade 2 more because, you know, I started with that game, so obviously I'm gonna have like a deeper appreciation for 2 than 1. Like, don't get me wrong, as much as I shit on Xenoblade 1, I still love it. But this motherfucker, okay, let's just keep going. In Xenoblade Chronicles 1, you could walk around while auto-attacking. Now you have to stand in one place. I beat multiple rare enemies with 2 people in my party. Put the controller down in 1. In Xenoblade 1, there is the Monado. I don't know why he capitalized the A and the O. There's the Monado. You have to set it up for combos. In Xenoblade 2, you can just mash the triggers and get a deadly combo. That's not really how it works. Just mashing arts and buttons isn't really, I mean, yeah, it'll work kinda, but for like super bosses and late game enemies, you can't just mash and expect to win. There's so much more that goes into the combat than just standing still and mashing buttons. Okay, there's so much more to that. You like try playing challenge mode and just standing there and mashing buttons. You're not gonna get anywhere. The compass that tells you where to go is extremely broken. You will have to go to a place that tells you not to get to the objective. Okay, Yeah, a lot of people have a complaint about the compass and, like, I guess the navigation bar, which I understand, but I never really found too much issue with that. I mean, yeah, it's not like Xenoblade 1, like DE, or even 3, where it gives you a line to show you where to go. Xenoblade 2, it shows you where to go, but not necessarily how to get there, which, you know, I never really had a problem finding where to go, as long as I'm just going in the general direction of where the thing told me to go, and it has an arrow up or down to show you if you're above or below. So, and its areas are relatively easy to get through, minus a couple, but I never really found that as too much of an issue. Where were we? Some terminals in the game require things like focus, ancient wisdom, and elemental mastery, but you don't know you're going to need them, so you're unprepared and have to spend 30 minutes to unlock a single door. Yeah, field skills were pretty bad in a gameplay sense. I never minded field skills. I actually kind of like field skills, but I understand why a lot of people don't, so this is pretty valid. It feels like there's no reason to progress the story in Xenoblade 2. Pyro wants to see a tree, that's it. Well, again, if you actually played the game and paid attention to the story, you'd realize there's so much more to it than just Pyro wanting to see a tree. You just dumbed it down just for the sake of this review. Obviously, the story isn't about Pyro just wanting to go to a big ass tree in the center of the world. There's reasons for that, and there's a bunch of the other little story beats in between all that. All the world building and character building that just feed the story so much more than feeds the story to become so much more than Pyro just wanting to see a tree. No, that is not it. In the first game, Shulk loses a very close friend and seeks revenge, later learning that there is a higher entity pulling the strings. Okay, and it's not too different from Xenoblade 2. Rex loses his life and he's revived by Pyra, and he's thankful to Pyra for that. And she wants to go to Elysium. At the time, nobody knows why. So Rex vows to take her there because she saved his life. And then after everything happens, we get up to the world tree and understand, meet the architect and realize, whoa, he was just kind of a normal guy who fucked up. And he tried recreating the world to atone for his mistakes. And he's just kind of trapped here as punishment. Like, the story is incredible. There's more than just Pyro wanting to see a tree. I don't understand this. Did they not even beat the game? Because if they did, they'd realize that's not it. They probably didn't even get past chapter 3. Okay, what the hell is this? And yeah, I know in this video I may seem like very irritated and annoyed at all this, but like, I'm smiling so hard right now. I'm having a great time reading these. I'm not mad. It's just funny to see how dumb a lot of these reviews are. I'm having a blast out here. The Pokemon concept of the game towards Blade Awakening is hilarious and frustrating. Pokemon concept? I don't remember you having to like go through a gacha to get Pokemon. Why would you give your players a hard time to awaken a blade in a so unfair random manner? How is it hard to awaken a blade? Unless you're talking about a rare blade, then you're not getting a hard time. That's how gachas work. The rarer, the rare blades are rare. It's literally in the name. So obviously you're not going to get them too easily or too often. It's literally in the name. They're rare blades. Obviously they're going to be rare. Generally, the better something is, then the average is going to be rarer. That's just how things work. What the heck is with Cosmos to the extent that why would you give your players a very frustrating experience over a game they paid for just to get her? This is not a good game at all. This is one hell of a very frustrating game. Okay, Cosmos is one of the best blades in the entire game. I'm pretty sure she is the best non-story, non-DLC rare blade in the entire game. Cosmos is extremely powerful. She is very, very good. So obviously they're going to make her the rarest of them all, because of all the, you know, rare blades you can get in the gacha, Cosmos is the best one by far. So obviously they're going to make her extremely rare and extremely hard to get. And the reason for that is because once you do get her, the payoff will be worth it. It's worth the wait to pull for Cosmos. Like, I still use Cosmos to this day in my party. I pulled Cosmos, I pulled her like last year, end of last year, and I still use her actively to this day. Like, do you just not know how gacha works? There's a reason why she's so rare and hard to get. Is because she's incredibly powerful. This is how things work. This is how it works in the real world. Were you gonna complain that winning lottery numbers are super rare, so that way it's frustrating and bad design? No, like, obviously it's I don't understand some of these people. It is within my personal opinion to say that this game is the most fodder game to ever exist on the planet. That's quite the statement. I thought Hotel Mario, Sonic 06, and Superman 64 was bad, but this is a new level of awfulness. Okay, first of all, I don't stand for Hotel Mario slander. Hotel Mario is a goated game. What do you mean? Never compare anything bad to Hotel Mario, okay? Hotel Mario is like the toppest, like top tier game design. How can you hate on Hotel Mario? Like, what? Whoever thought it was a good idea to release this game should be fired immediately and die. Okay, that's a bit much, because I think the opposite. Whoever decided to release this game should get a goddamn raise and, you know, be transcended to God level, because this game is absolutely incredible. Best game I've ever played. Like, this is incredible. I don't stand for Hotel Mario slander. Horrible voice acting, again with the voice acting. Overcomplicated battle system. It's really not that complicated if you take the time and try to just figure it out. But then again, the tutorials were kind of bad for a lot of people, so I can understand why you think it's complicated. But it's really not that difficult if you know, just experiment and try to figure everything out. Or, you know, there is this one guy called Anel who has, you know, guides about the combat system that makes it so much easier to understand. But hey, what do I know? Tediously bad with wasting a player's time. In what way? You don't, with what? The quests, the gacha, the story, field skills? Like, how is it bad with wasting our time? Never really explained that. The game feels like a slog with extremely annoying companions and two good ones. I'm like really curious on who the two good companions are, because the entire party is just incredible. Nia is my second favorite character in the whole game, behind Jin, of course. I love Tora. Everyone shits on Tora for being such a perv, but I love Tora. Napon are incredible. Zeke is just, how can you not love Zeke? He's just a badass. He's just so pompous and full of himself, but not in a bad way, in like a goofy, funny way. And then Morag is just a badass special inquisitor. Who's the annoying companion here? Or who are the only two good companions? Because the entire party is incredible. Rex, the voice actor, him is god awful. I'm sure he meant himself, but Rex's voice actor is not god awful. I like Rex's voice a lot, but then again, it's really not that hard to please me. I'm easily satisfied, so I mean, that could just be me, but he's really not that bad. I love Shulk, not Shulk, god damn it, Rex's voice actor, he's really not that bad. The game is just incredibly immature and poorly designed. I'm pretty sure they're referring to, oh, big titty anime game, which, no, that's not the case. If you play through the game and through the story, you see that's not the case. I mean, sure, the designs are, some of the designs are interesting, you know, you know, to be safe, interesting to a lot of people, but it's a JRPG. What do you expect? What do you expect? That's just how they are. Okay. The gameplay difficulty is very poorly balanced. How is the difficulty poorly balanced? I mean, yeah, I guess in the chapter 3 fight against Malos and Akos, I dropped the game over that fight and like took a month off of this game because of that fight, and then once I figured out what to actually do, it really wasn't that bad. And that was like the only time I actually got stuck in the game, was that fight against Malos and Akos in the Elethra ruins. Other than that, I had like a smooth sailing through the game, and I was like a very casual playthrough, so I don't understand this point. It's a full price game with a character gacha. The combat is rough and unpolished. Not true at all. And the story was not near strong enough to make me put up with the complaints listed. I mean, yeah, not everyone's gonna enjoy this story, but I doubt it was that bad that the story... Okay. Slogged through 35 hours and then sold my copy of the game. I don't even know what to say to this, bro. I don't even know. I paid $80 for this game. What do I get? A lazy game. Its attacks poorly replicate the Pokemon series. Terrible acting and bad gameplay and story. Hated it, not worth the money. God, this grammar is just... I feel like I had a stroke reading this. Okay, what is with people comparing this to Pokemon? Is because we have so many rare blades we can choose which one we want to use? I mean, Xenoblade 2 is nothing like Pokemon in any way. How is the combat like Pokemon? It's really not. I don't understand like the constant comparisons. I guess because we have all like I said, because we have all these rare blades, we can choose which one we want to use. That's like every collecting game ever. It's not just Pokemon. And actually, Shin Megami Tensei did the whole like monster collecting before Pokemon did. So if anything, its attack poorly replicate the SMT series. Like, I don't understand this constant comparison to Pokemon. This is the second one we've seen. Like, what is it like Pokemon? How is it like Pokemon? The first 5 hours of the games are a tutorial. From what I've heard, the game doesn't get good for 10 hours. If it takes that long to get to the actual game, it's not worth it. Okay, the game does have a lot of tutorials at random times, but I don't think it's the first 5 hours. I think the last area where you get like really heavy tutorial bombardment is Torgoth. I think that's when the tutorials start to lay off a little bit, like after you pull a rare blade, and that's not even 5 hours in. That's like 2 to 3 hours, maybe at minimum, maximum, I don't know. But the game gets good not 10 hours in. The game's good from the start, but from this perspective, I guess like meeting Pyra, that's when the game like really takes off, and that's like 3 hours in. So it's, I mean, and plus it's like a 60-70 hour game, so it taking 10 hours to get good isn't really all that, you know, surprising or bad. It's a long game, so obviously, you know, they're not just gonna throw the story right at you at the beginning. There has to be build up to it. This game is not that great. The respawns are awful, and it just seems more unfinished. It's awful, disappointed, not worth the money I paid for it. This didn't really have any substance at all. The respawns are awful. What respawns? Unique monsters? They don't respawn because tombstones. You can respawn them whenever you want. Are they talking about like what do you mean? Collection points respawn every time you fast travel back to an area. Unique monsters have tombstones so you can respawn them whenever you want. I don't really see what else it could be talking about. Respawns are awful. What respawns? And how is the game unfinished? Like, you don't say anything. Don't play this game. They are over sexualize the characters. Morag is scary to show. I'm not even going to waste my time with that. It's not even worth. This has to be bait. They over sexualize the characters. Yeah, everyone says that, but it's Japan. Like, what are you talking about? Morag is scary to show. Did he forget the W, or like, what do you mean Morag is scary to show? What the hell does that mean? And 2 people found this helpful. Okay, I am dissatisfied with the fact that I'm not even wasting my time. Horrendous, atrocious, absolutely abominable, an insult to one of the greatest RPGs ever made. They're also a Xenoblade 1 fan, so let's not even talk about that. Very grinding and tedious combat fight. Big letdown compared to other Xenoblades. No, there's like almost, see, that's the thing about Xenoblade, you almost never have to grind. It's like the one JRPG series where grinding really isn't all that present. You know, as long as you're doing like side content and everything. If you're just rushing through the story, even then you don't really have to grind. So how is it very grindy? TDS really isn't all that useful anyway, because there's so much diversity and what's it called, diversity and customization for the combat. You can make it unboring. Like, I don't understand. Terrible and overrated, an absolute chore to play through. No, but this is like not good, I think. What the hell was that? What's with all that? What do you mean you think? Did you even play the game? Is it good or not? What do you mean you think? Stinky. Okay, bad game, hit good. They misspelled it. Bananas. I do like bananas. They're like my second favorite fruit behind pineapples. I love bananas. Okay, so yeah, this I found that helpful too. Okay, I love bananas. Really bad. Okay. Oh shit. Well, that's it. Yeah, I didn't think we'd actually get through it that quickly. But I know I shat on a lot of these people in this video, but I mean, some reviews are just, you know, this. Some reviews are just this, really bad, okay? They don't really back up their statements. A lot of them say how bad the game is or certain aspects are, but then don't tell why they're bad or how they're bad. They just say, oh, game bad, end of review. Like, okay, I don't understand. And I know, you know, there's more positive reviews on the game than there are negative, but it's funny to just come to these like 1-star reviews and see how, you know, horrendous they actually are. Like, a lot of these reviews, some of these are bait, and a lot of them just don't capitalize on anything and tell like why a game is bad. This one actually, you know, went in and, you know, talked about why they thought the game was bad. It still fucks me up how this was a week ago. Like a week ago, people are still out here writing whole essays on how bad Xenoblade 2 is. Okay, and only one person found this helpful. While, you know, reviews like this, where was it at? Well, okay, anyway, yeah, I just had this idea to just read bad Xenoblade 2 reviews, and goddamn, these were incredible to read. These are like great to read. I might just start reading garbage game reviews in my pastime just to because this shit is so funny. So yeah, I actually had a lot of fun reading these. I know, like, at a lot of points I seemed like very irritated or mad, but no, I just, I'm having a blast right now. This shit is great. I just like, you know, shitting on bad reviews because they shit on the best game of all time, clearly. So, you know, I don't stand for Xenoblade 2 slander. So, you know, I had to correct him a little bit. But yeah, that's really it for this video. I kind of just made this on a whim. You know, out of nowhere, I just thought, oh shit, I kind of want to like go and read Xenoblade 2 reviews. So here we are. So yeah, that's really about it for this video though. This is probably going to be a controversial one, but I don't really care. So as always, thanks for watching. Have a damn good day. Stay safe, be well, and play some goddamn Xenoblade.